Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Susie Jane Designs. I know it has been a minute since I have been able to post something for you guys. Seriously, life has been insane. Those of you that have been following me for a little while know that my family was in a car accident a little over a month ago, and we're dealing with surgery and physical therapy and things of that nature. So our lives are pretty crazy right now, and we're just trying to get a handle on that. So I really wanted to make this video for you guys though, because I had a little bit more patriotic decor that I had planned for you guys, and 4th of July is coming up. Like, this is the time. It has to happen now. So let's not get too crazy with all of this. These are pretty simple DIYs. I am super excited to jump back in and share this video with you guys. If you are new to my channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell next to it so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. And let's jump into the projects.
Okay, so I started off with this free printable that I found online for America the Beautiful. I'm going to be using the back of the sign from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just measuring out how big I want the piece of paper to be. I'm trimming it down to size, and then I'm actually going to tear the edges to give it more of that like old vintage look. You can technically print this image onto regular computer paper because it comes with that aged coloring on the background, but I had this paper on hand and I really like the way it looks, so I thought it would be cool to print it on that. Once I got the paper the way that I wanted it, I am going to go ahead and paint the back of the sign in my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. And I'm actually only painting around the edges, not worrying about the center because the paper is going to be there, so why waste paint? I'm also not fully covering the edges with the white paint just because I want to give it that aged look anyway. And of course, because I want that age look, I'm also coming in with my Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just going over the edges to give it that more distressed look. Now, I do still want to keep that plank sort of look, so I'm using the antique wax to kind of define where the boards would be, but I wanted it to be a little bit darker, so I'm using a Sharpie to just kind of draw just really lightly where those lines would be, and then going back over it in the antique wax. I also went back and darkened up all of the edges as well. Once I was done with that, I am going ahead and using the Mod Podge to put the paper down in the center of the board. I will say you should really put this Mod Podge down, lay the paper on nice and flat, and then allow that to completely dry before you put the top coat on. I didn't have a lot of time, so I didn't do that, and I got a lot of wrinkles in my paper. Once that was done, I just added the string that came with the sign back on. For this next project, I'm using this farmer's market box that I had made before I started my YouTube channel. I never did make a bottom, so it's a cardboard bottom. Eventually I'll get around to it, but I'm taking these metal tins that actually are from IKEA, but I got at a thrift store for 75 cents. I've had this red cracked glass orb from Hobby Lobby for years, so I just stuck a plastic bag down in the bottom and set that on top just to kind of give it a little more height. And then on each of the side buckets, I put a plastic bag, and I cut up a piece of floral foam, stuck that down in there, and I had these two flags from the Target dollar spot. I just stuck one in each side, and then I'm using these rocks from the Dollar Tree to kind of weight it down a little bit, but I didn't have enough on hand to completely cover the foam, so I'm using these red, blue, and clear gems from the Dollar Tree. For this next project, I have this little red crate from Target Dollar Spot, and also this little USA sign from the Target Dollar Spot. It kind of looks like a little license plate, and I'm just taping it to the front of the crate there because I don't want it to be permanent. Now I'm just taking one of these little vases that I already had on hand, and I'm just going to be filling it up with flowers. I'm using delphinium and daisies and all kinds of things that I just have on hand from the dollar store. I am placing the taller flowers like the delphinium and the wisteria, stuff like that, in the vase. And then for the smaller flowers, I am placing those inside the crate around the vase. And you guys, this is seriously such a super easy project, but really adds a lot to your decor. For this next project, I have this little blue caddy from the dollar spot that I'm going to be using, and I'm just using a glass vase, which also came from the Target dollar spot, and I'm putting a little flag inside of that, and I'm using these white flowers from the dollar store to just kind of dress it up a little bit. The Target dollar spot also had these little bike handle tassels, and I'm just going to be attaching one of those to the side of the caddy. So for this last project, I have a ton of these colored beads on hand from the dollar store from when I made my St. Patrick's Day little bead tassel. It, of course, has a bunch of little red ones in there, so of various different sizes, actually. So I'm just taking this white string that I have on hand from the dollar store and putting those red beads on it. And I am alternating the bead sizes when I'm putting them on here, but there's really no rhyme or reason to it. I was just doing whatever. I also like leaving the string attached to the spool because I don't like to waste it, so this way I know exactly how much I'm going to need once I get the amount of beads on there that I like. Once I liked the length, I just cut the string and I just tied knots on each end to hold the beads in place. I'm sorry I'm off camera here. I do apologize. I was on the phone when I was filming this, so I really had no idea that you couldn't see what I was doing. So now that I have the string all tied up, I'm going to go ahead and make the tassel. I just take the string and I wrap it around my hand about 20 times, and then I cut that off. Then I cut another small piece of string and put that through the loop and tied it in a knot to secure the loop in place. I'm sorry I went off camera a little bit again here, but basically all I'm doing is I cut another length of string, and about ½ an inch below the top of the loop where we tied that original knot, I'm just wrapping that around and securing it in place. Now I'm just securing the tassel to what's left of the string at the end and just clipping off the excess. Once I got the tassel string clipped, now I'm taking the end of the string that's attached to the beads and I'm pushing that back through the beads to keep it nice and secure. Now I'm just taking my scissors and clipping those loops to make it the tassel that it's supposed to be and trimming any extra pieces that were a little too long. Then I just added that to the caddy with the white flowers and the flag to give it that little extra touch. And now we're ready to get everything set up. We had this old pallet in our backyard that was already red, so I thought it was perfect. I started by removing the sign from the center of the wreath and putting the flag in its place, and I do have tutorials on both of those if you're interested. I will link those in the description box below, and then I'm taking these string lights that are wood stars from the Target dollar spot, and I'm adding those to the pallet. Once I got those where I wanted them, I added this Land That I Love sign to the corner, and that is also in my prior Patriotic Decor video, as well as my Stars and Stripes little star over there and these America blocks. And then I'm adding this caddy over onto the center of the palette. And as you can see, decorating is always a family affair. I really wanted to put my America the Beautiful sign over here, but I couldn't figure out how to get it in place. So I did end up moving it over next to the window to see if I liked it there. So this canvas bag came from the Target dollar spot, and I wanted to turn it into a pillow, but honestly guys, I have not had time. So I did the cheater's way, and I took a pillow that I had already and just stuffed it inside the bag and tucked the handles in. and it's the perfect addition to our bench seat along with the Home Sweet Home pillow. My husband brought me a nail and a hammer, and as you can see, they all kindly watched me while I added the nail to the pallet so that I could hang the string lights up a little higher. I also decided to switch the little flag out for a bigger flag in the caddy. My sweet husband brought me this stump from the backyard with one hand so that I could put the crate and flowers where I wanted them. And of course, I did move my America the Beautiful sign back to the pallet. Our welcome sign was right by the front door, but I decided to move it over here because the space was a little bit empty, and added a flag, and we're done.
Cruising down the road, no thought getting old. The girls are hot, but the beer is cold. Yeah, that's the way we roll. Bathing in the sun, on the beach having fun. Whoa, these lazy days are never done. I work hard every day, don't waste my time on yesterday. I never shy away from a good time. Coming on Friday night, I see my friends and feel alright. There ain't no stopping us from having fun. There ain't no cloud inside.
That's it for today's video, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Like I said, I really wanted to make sure that I got this one out there for you guys before 4th of July. That being said, enjoy being with your family and having a good time. I really hope that all is well with the Susie Jane family. Until next time, I'll be seeing you. So guys, I did a thing, okay? I dyed my hair. Here's something that some of you may not know about me. I'm actually not a natural redhead. My natural hair color does have a lot of red in it, but I am not a natural redhead. I dye my hair red because, as my hairstylist told me, I should have actually been born this way. It just looks like it makes sense, right? Anyway, so I did a thing. I tried a new hair color. BT Dubs, sidebar. My hairstylist is phenomenal. I love her so much. But in the last, I think it's been over a year, I have not been able to go to her because, did you guys know that daycare is like stupid expensive? Did anybody know that? It is insane to me that it costs that much money. But you know, hey, someone's got to have that job, right? I understand, for all of you that work in the daycare business, more power to you. I used to do that racket, and it was so much fun. I loved it, I really did. But, you know, when you got a family, it does not pay the bills. Anyway, so I have not been able to go to my hairstylist, so I actually do my own hair, which my hairstylist would probably be mortified by this, but I tried a new hair color. I thought it would just, like, you know, brighten things up, and it actually turned into, like, aerial hair, which is fine, except for the fact that it didn't look like real hair anymore. It looked like I was wearing a wig.